Let's welcome Kathy Holly and Spotlight.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the March Show. It's wonderful to be here tonight. I have two great artists right here from Pacifica. Over on my left, one I saw at the Fog Fest, Patty Sherin, Lego artist. Can't wait to talk about this. So unusual for me. And over here on my right, Asia Arabesque, who teaches belly dancing at the Ocean Yoga Studio.
Yoga.
And I've seen you dance professionally. It's just wonderful. Well, we are delighted to have someone who works with Legos here. Patty, where are you from originally, first of all?
I'm from New York City. I moved out to Pacifica about a year and a half ago, and I absolutely love it.
It's a great place.
It
really
is. It's beautiful.
And when I saw you at the Fog Fest, I couldn't get over all the art made from Legos. When did you start doing this?
Well, I've always been creative. I've always done crochet and needlepoint. And then about 3 years ago, my daughter bought me the Volkswagen RV camper made out of Lego. And it was my first set since I was a kid. So it just reintroduced me to Lego. And in the Lego community, they call that coming out of the dark ages.
Well, you know, when you first told me about that, she bought you the RV camper, I was envisioning the real thing, with Legos all wrapped around it, sort of one of these exceptional vans.
Well, it's so cool because she bought that, and we were living in New York City when she bought that for me. And then when we moved out here to California, I see them everywhere, so it's really cool.
Oh, that's great. And so this is what inspired you. What really got you started with Legos?
Well, after I built the Lego camper, I went to the Lego store. They have retail stores now, and as opposed to when I was a kid. And they have this thing called the wall of bricks, where you could actually pick and choose the pieces that you want. And I found the 1x1 round studs, which I actually fell in love with. There was just something about them that I just loved. And so I brought home a bucket of them, and I just started playing around with patterns. And I just loved making patterns out of the Lego pieces. It was a lot of fun.
You used an expression I know in your bio that you began to make patterns out of
chaos.
Can you come over and clean out our closets?
Exactly.
What a wonderful idea. Well, I
Exactly.
never knew they made these little tiny pieces
That's
of
right.
Legos.
That's right.
We always think, I guess, at least I did, when you're in kindergarten class, you see children building, all kinds of structures with these big Legos.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing. When I moved out here to California, I actually found out that there is a huge Lego community, and when I tapped into that, I was really inspired by what other people create. I mean, amazing creations.
What do you create? Because I saw some wonderful things at the Fog Fest. Tell us
Right.
about that different art.
I love doing mosaics mostly. That's what speaks to me. I love the colors and being able to create patterns. So I do several different types of pieces. I do small wall ornaments and then larger like coasters. But then I also love doing large pieces. So I brought a couple of pieces with me.
Well, we'll have to take a look because I know they have titles too. But before we do that, you're a member of organizations that deal with Legos.
That's
isn't that
right. Well, it's
Lego
a Lego fan community. I'm part of BayLug, which is Bay Area Lego User Group. That's what BayLug stands for. And we meet about once a month, either in Palo Alto or in San Leandro. And it's just a bunch of Lego enthusiasts.
Do you think this art is great for adults and children? And
Absolutely,
if so, why?
absolutely.
Is it so, what do you think it is, incorporates into the art that makes it so special?
Lego, to me, is extremely therapeutic. Taking a bucket of bricks and throwing it on the floor and sorting it out and seeing what kind of pieces I have, and then trying to, put them together in such a way that just creates pattern. I've spoken to so many people who find it extremely therapeutic. I know when I start with a bucket of bricks, I can get lost for hours, and
that's
it's
great.
so calming.
And do children love to do this as
Oh,
well?
absolutely, absolutely.
Do you go to schools, or how do you
I do a lot of
introduce
trade
them?
shows, and I'm also involved with Bricks by the Bay, which is a fan Lego exhibition that we put together. This year it's in August 18th through the 21st. If you're
Have to
interested,
remember
we
that.
have a public day on Sunday.
And where is it
And it's
held?
in the Santa Clara Convention Center.
Oh, yes, big place.
So it's a big place. We have the grand ballroom, and then there's also a vendor area where people sell,
And
Lego
so people
stuff.
can buy your...
Right, exactly.
Now, how can they see your work? We're going to show a few pieces in a minute, but you have a website, isn't
I have
that
a website.
correct?
You can go to my website, pattysherin.com, where you can see a lot of my art, also on Instagram and on Twitter. So people can reach out to me on either of them, and you can go to my website and find my
And
feeds.
where is it displayed locally, if people
I
want to see it?
have my art at 3 places right now. There's a place in San Francisco called the Reading Clinic. It's a tutoring center. And then 2 places here in Pacifica. One is at the CWC, the Cannabis Wellness Center on Palmetto by the pier. And then the other location is the Bay Area Coffee establishment over also on Palmetto, but that's over by Manor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remember seeing that.
That's
it's,
right.
It's near the, giving them a plug. It's near the McDonald's.
That's right.
I know. Used to have coffee at McDonald's.
Exactly,
Well, this is great.
exactly.
And I'd love to see some of your work in the studio. I mean, we have to see it. The audience has to see it. So we're ready to show pieces, and you can explain,
Sure.
tell us a little bit
Sure,
about each piece.
This one is, I call this, oh God, I'm blanking right now.
Pastels?
That's right. It's Candy Lands. That's what I call
yes.
Candy Land because I was inspired with the purple and the pink translucent pieces,
Yes.
and I combined them with the the flat tiles, which I really love. I love these 2 colors.
But it looks like candy. It looks like jelly beans. I love it. Oh, I love it. And those
Exactly.
are tiny, tiny pieces.
That's right. Those are the flat round 1x1 studs.
And you can buy those at any Lego store.
Well, you most likely you'd have to go through the company to buy them. Lego.com sells them, and you could also find them on another website called BrickLink.com.
Bricklink. And now show us the next one. Let's see the next
Next
piece.
one, I think, is Sunset. That was inspired with the California coast coming out to
Yes,
California,
beautiful.
and the sunset, the different colors, and I love putting translucent and solid colors together.
And you did the whole frame and everything in Legos,
That's all
correct?
made out of Lego,
Oh,
correct?
that's wonderful. And the next piece? Let's see what else we have.
And this is
Oh,
a splash
love
of
it.
color. Again, I love making patterns. So this one has pattern within a pattern. So it's got the round 1x1 studs, and then the round flat pieces as well. So I kind of created a pattern within a pattern in this one.
That is just great. So when are you going to show like the little trivets and the wonderful little pieces that I saw at the Fog
You
Fest
can see
again?
them on my website. I have a section for small Lego art and then a section with large Lego art. So I have the 2 different categories on there.
Because that's a great gift item.
Absolutely,
know?
absolutely, definitely.
How much do you charge, like for instance, just giving,
Right.
like a little price, your
Right,
idea
for the
coasters?
Right, for the small wall ornaments, I sell them for $5, and then the coasters I usually sell for 10.
All right, and then the trivets, right? You have trivets?
No, I mean I have
They're
larger
hangings.
pieces. Right, I have like hearts and things like that I've made out of Lego. So
Oh, that
it's
would
a
be
lot of fun.
wonderful.
Those
I
a little
mean-
bit more. Those are 30, and then the pieces that I showed before, some of them are $500-$600.
And again, people can see these locally, though, at the Cannabis Wellness
In the
Center.
center, that's right. The
And
Bay Area Coffee.
Is all this on your website, too?
It
in case
is,
People,
it
oh,
is.
that's great. Yeah, I think Legos are something wonderful. And
lot of
when do you
fun.
see children to inspire them to do little
Oh,
artwork
at
with
my
it?
trade shows, I advertise, that I'm a Lego artist, so I get a lot of families coming, and especially children who love my art. It's amazing how little boys just love. They're like, I didn't know you can do that with Lego, And I think it inspires them to think, outside of the box. Think of something different. Lego is traditionally,
Build a
for
bridge,
build a castle, a starship, or something like that. And a lot of times they don't think about, making art or making patterns or, it's
No,
so
it's-
many different things you can build with Lego. It's amazing.
Now, I just have to ask you, do you make a living doing this, or do you have another something you
I
do?
do have a full-time job, so yeah, I work for an investment bank. So this
Oh,
is
very good.
completely
That's where all your
different
money
than-
goes, into the Legos, everybody. That's
Exactly,
where her
exactly.
salary goes.
That's right.
Into the Legos. So ambitiously, what would you like to do with your art? I mean,
Oh,
that
I would
kind of
love
to
to do
achieve.
that full time. I'm starting to do logos for companies, and people love doing mosaics. They take photograph and turn it into a mosaic, and I'm more than happy to do that.
For a wall.
Yeah,
you mean.
absolutely.
Oh, there's
My
a wonderful
dream would be
idea.
to do a large mosaic, like for a school or something like that. Because one thing, when people look at my art, they always want to touch it, and it's Lego, it's three-dimensional,
Yes.
it's very textural and tactile. So,
Well,
yeah.
this would be great. Well, out there in television land, if you want somebody to do a wall for you with Legos, you've got the perfect person, Patty Sherin.
Thank you
And
so much.
now, thank you for coming to this. Is great. I do want to turn over to Asia, Arabesque. Well, you've been on the show before, and it's so wonderful to have you back.
I'm so happy to be back.
Very exciting. And tell me, when did you start belly dancing?
Well, it was completely by accident. So I was studying to become a modern dancer, and I was the pride of my mother because I got a scholarship with Martha Graham. And then I saw a belly dance troupe at the Renaissance Fair, and it changed my life. And as my mother said, I ran away with the belly dance
You
troupe.
ran away with the belly dance troupe. And where was this belly dance troupe?
This was at I think it's called Black Hills, or I can't
Black Hawk?
It's out in Novato, where they had
yes,
the
yes, where they have
original
the Renaissance Fair.
fairs.
Oh,
starting
and
back in
that's
the,
really what started you.
Yeah, that started
So
me.
how many years have you been teaching belly dance?
Since
or dancing?
1973.
1970.
I don't even
This
know.
is great.
That's a
I mean,
long
it's
time.
wonderful because you've been teaching it and doing it, right?
Right.
Well, tell me, what is a favorite story about belly dancing that you'd like to share with us?
I have so
Special
many
performance?
stories, but the one that comes to mind has to do with being a guest artist with Velocity Circus, which is in the Bay Area, performing at Warner Brothers for a Warner Brothers party that was on the studio lot. And very beautiful gold costume and some gold body paint. And I didn't realize that I was dancing with a snake and that I was the opening act for Shaka Khan.
Oh, you are famous. You are famous. Do you have a video of that?
I wish I did. I don't have a video of it, but I have really great memories of it.
Did you
It was-
meet Chaka Khan?
We did, and she was very sweet. It was myself and two other dancers.
Oh, how wonderful. That was so exciting.
It was very
Did you
exciting.
stay in Los Angeles then and do more performing down there?
I've performed there. My base has been San Francisco as a professional dancer. I made my living in San Francisco for 18 years in the restaurants there. But
Oh,
I did a
really?
little performing in Hollywood just on special
Well,
occasions.
what were the restaurants around the San Francisco Bay Area?
El Mansour Moroccan restaurant, which is out in the avenues on 42nd, I think. Performed there for 17 years. And there used to be a Lebanese restaurant called the Grape Leaf. It's now called El Masri, which is another restaurant I performed at in Marrakesh.
Well, you said your background was modern dance.
Right.
But I understand you also used to work with a Greek band. You know something about
Yeah.
Greek dancing?
Yes, the very first job I ever had was Zorba the Greeks in Sacramento, and also Yasuyani in Stockton. It's so much fun to
Are
dance
these
with the
places
Greek.
gone?
They're gone. Yeah.
What
so-
happened to all the Greek restaurants? And
Well,
can't find one now.
they're hard to find, which is sad because I love Greek food and music and culture.
Yes.
They weren't as popular in the 80s as the Moroccan restaurants where you sat on the floor and had your hands washed, and so that sort of became
yes.
popular.
That was I remember there was
Yeah.
a place in San Francisco that did that. But I can't get over how you can play hand cymbals and dance. How do you conquer that wonderful
It's
ability?
really difficult, and therein lies the art of belly dancing.
It does.
Is that you're not only moving your body, but you're coordinating and playing musical patterns on the finger cymbals at the
On
same
the
time.
finger cymbals. How long did it take you to get that down?
That takes about 2 years to learn how to do.
Really?
Yes.
Finger cymbals.
Yeah.
Because that's a long time.
Yeah.
So you started all this when you suddenly ran away with the belly dance company, and then decided you would also Well, you had to do finger symbols, is that correct?
I learned from many different teachers back in the 70s and 80s. I was really fortunate. There were so many great teachers coming over from Egypt and
Oh, see, how
from all
wonderful.
over.
That's
So,
what I was going to ask you. Belly dancing today is still done in countries like Egypt, is that
yes,
correct?
very
Where-
popular.
And what about women only?
Women only traditionally, but there's a lot of men belly dancers. Men danced in the coffee houses where women were not allowed. So many times they dressed as women and danced in the coffee
You know,
houses.
I did see a movie, a documentary on that when in one of the countries that we're talking about, not Egypt, it was another country, I believe, where the men dressed in belly dance costumes because religiously the women, is that correct, are
That's
not
correct, yeah.
allowed to dance like that. So that makes a big difference,
Yes.
right? Now, who do you think, how many people dance or study dance here in Pacific? Are they mainly women?
I also have men. I have a
do?
male student here in Pacifica, and traditionally it's a dance that both men and women can do. So we think of women doing it. Its roots actually come from birth ritual. In the very ancient sense, it really was a woman's dance.
Oh, you know, I remember years ago, I
Yeah.
met some belly dancers, and one of them was an Egyptian gal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what she told me was this was the movement that the women used to use while they were giving birth,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it sounds so archaic to us.
Yeah, but that's a long tradition of it coming from those roots, and also just a way to celebrate women. And belly dancing traditionally was done for women by women. It wasn't really for entertainment. It was a way that they entertained themselves in the harems, and if they were in harems, and so it has that kind of a history, a very rich history.
Very rich.
Yeah.
And now, where do you dance mostly?
I dance mostly with my company now, and we perform at various venues. We were out in the Ritz-Carlton in Half Moon Bay not too long ago, did a really nice show there.
And what was the occasion?
That was a corporate party that we were hired for.
So you do get calls
We
for
do.
that. Now, who's in the company? How many dancers?
I have 25 dancers and musicians. I have drummers also, so it's a big group.
Now, who plays the drums, for instance? That's a specialty, isn't it?
It is a specialty. It's a special type of drumming on special drums. And my husband is one of the drummers.
He is.
We
Oh,
have a
great.
lot of women that drum as well.
But how lucky for you. That's great. Now, does that go along with learning how to belly dance? If I took a lesson, would you also say finger symbols, and then the next thing we're going to do is learn how to do some
You know,
drumming
if you
or no?
stuck with it, you would learn all of that.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so musicians out there,
Yeah.
think about it. You know, you need musicians for this craft, and that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I understand you brought a DVD with you.
I
Can you
did.
set it up for us, though, before we look at it?
Sure. This is a DVD from a performance some years back at the Tribal Fest, which is a big dance festival held in Sebastopol.
And what is that all about? Never heard of it.
There are different styles of belly dancing, and tribal is a style which is not based on choreography. However, we're doing choreography here, so there are just a lot of different styles.
Different styles of belly dance from different countries, then?
The tribal is primarily American style, and what I'm doing in this piece with my students is more traditional.
Which would come from Egypt,
Egypt, Turkey,
Turkey,
Yeah.
okay, or Morocco,
even Morocco.
even Morocco. Well, can we take a look at this? That would be. fabulous. I have a few questions, though. I can't. I mean, I'm amazed. First of all, you balanced a sword on your head.
Yes.
Is that part of learning how to do
That's-
belly dance?
That is a specialty. So if
Oh,
you stay with me
yes.
long enough, you learn a specialty. Right now we have a sword dance that we have 10 dancers doing all together, which is really spectacular.
Because I'm assuming, I mean, your head can't really move. Your
No.
body does, right
Yeah.
underneath. That is very, very difficult. Really difficult. Now, the other thing I want to ask you is, first, and then I want to get to the snake. But the first thing I have to know is, what is the other instrument? There's drums, and then what's the other one?
In this piece, it's called a zurna, which is a wind instrument that requires circular breathing. So it's a very difficult instrument to
Where
play.
does that come from?
It comes from Morocco.
From Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
So these musicians are people that specialize in, for instance, the zurka.
Yeah.
That's totally
Mm-hmm.
different. Do you just have two musicians? Because I heard a lot of music.
This piece is a recorded piece, but it's very similar to what we would play. So we have about 5 drummers. If we're lucky enough, we have a zurna player. They're not that easy to find.
Oh, where did this one come from? What
San
was it?
Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then the drums, your husband plays,
Uh-huh.
but they're special drums. Is
They're
that right?
special drums called darbukas.
Darbukas. And you can have 5 drummers playing darbukas?
Yes.
Oh, this sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
When is the next big performance like that, tribal?
We
Fair.
have our own performance coming up at Ocean Yoga, and that's coming up on March 26th, Saturday. It's called a hafla. It's our dance party where all of my students have an opportunity to dance for their friends and family, and we have food and beverages, and it's free.
Oh my gosh, everybody, you've got to do that. Ocean Yoga.
Yeah.
The wonderful celebration, March 26th. It's
March
a Saturday,
26th,
right?
Right. And there's a free class from 6 to 6:45, and then the dancing starts at 7.
That's great. Oh, don't run, don't walk. That is going to be fabulous. I wish I could come. I'm working that night, but I would love to see, a big event like that. And now tell me about this other creature that was part of the show, a snake.
Yes.
Well, tell me about the snake.
I have been fascinated with reptiles since I was a child, and I have another business, which is Lizard Ladies Reptiles, and we visit classrooms and preschools. So snake dancing is a natural part of what I incorporate into our shows because I have the snakes.
I can't believe it. What did your mother say when you said, Mom, I now am doing an act with snakes?
Well, she wasn't surprised by that since I was sneaking them into the house as a child and trying to keep them as pets. So,
Why
and she
is
would
that?
never allow that.
It was your fascination.
I was
then.
always fascinated with the way they moved, so no surprise,
Oh.
ended up as a belly dancer, which kind of has snaky movement.
But did you have many snakes around? And what, garter snakes? I remember
A
we
lot
had garter
of
snakes.
garter snakes. Yeah, I grew up in
Yes.
Stockton, so we had
Oh,
garter
you
snakes.
had a lot.
and- yeah.
I just remember in San Francisco, between the cement crack in our backyard,
Uh-huh.
occasionally a garter snake would pop up, and I would scream.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait to get out of there. But you, on the other hand, would have said, "Hey, give me the garter snake. I'll take him home." Right. So, how long have you been interested in reptiles and done the show that you're talking about for children?
I've been doing my show for 26 years.
It's
and
marvelous.
We do preschools, classrooms, birthday parties, after-school programs, and summer camps.
Now, tell me, what kind of reptiles? Just give me a list of different styles,
Yeah,
different
we
kinds.
have. They're all non-venomous, no poisonous snakes in the show.
Thank
the
goodness
kids
for
do
that.
get to pet the animals in the show.
So
we have snakes, lizards, and we have a tortoise. And I have a tortoise who's 70 years old. His name is Bob.
Oh, Bob, 70 years old. Wouldn't that be fun to have him on the show?
Yeah.
Does he
Bob
move
should be
very
on-
slowly?
He moves very slowly.
I love it. Oh, we should have had him with us today. I remember somebody I knew had a tortoise. That's very special.
Yeah.
Where do you keep all these little critters?
Currently, we live in San Francisco. And we live with our wonderful friends who are very tolerant. They have chickens and a cat, so you know, what's 17 reptiles? You know, we're happy to have you.
And the cat doesn't go for the snakes and
You know, kind of ignores them, so that's good.
well, that's wonderful. And so people that want to have you as a guest, or the schools in particular, do you advertise, or they just go to your website?
It is my website, Lizard Ladies Reptiles.
Lizard Ladies Reptiles. I probably didn't put that up in the CGs, but
that
you know,
next time.
ocean,
Yeah.
yoga, arabesque, belly dance, it'll all come up on your website.
Right.
Okay, so that's good out there. You can find out more about Asia's reptile lady.
Yeah, Lizard Lady.
Lizard Lady. I love it. Lizard Lady. I think I've heard about you from a friend of mine who used to teach second grade and first grade in San Francisco. I do know people that have had
Yeah.
you. And I always was amazed. Lizard Lady? Who could that possibly be? Now I put two and two together. It's you. Amazing. Now we're going to be dancing. I mean, you're going to be dancing at an event that I also am part of. And we have a Greek band. It's at the Villa d'Est coming up this month, March 24th.
24th.
To celebrate the Greek Independence Day. And I'm going to be at the Villa d'Est. That's right. The first Mondays, I am always there. But on March 24th, we're going to be together and with the Greek band, and you're going to be dancing. And everyone come on, it's a restaurant, no cover charge. All right, it's great having both of you here. I have to say goodbye. We've run out of time. Patty, I'm going to catch your Lego art for sure.
Thank you so much for
and
having me.
I will see you very soon.
Yes.
And you out there, I'm thinking of taking belly dance lessons.
Me too.
I think wouldn't that be
Excellent.
great? I think it would be wonderful. And you said all those dancers are from Pacifica, in the troupe, which is great.
Yeah.
Well, it's always good, everybody. It's very healthy, right? Very rewarding in many ways.
Yeah. Great
It
exercise.
keeps you young.
It
I
does.
like
Good
that
for your
part, too.
brain too.
Good for the brain. You said that.
Yeah.
Well, that is even better than what? Doing the crossword puzzle. I like that. So good for the brain, good for the body, and it keeps you what?
Keeps you young
Limber.
and limber.
Limber. Okay, so you don't
And
have to be
happy.
and happy. All right, especially your husbands and
Right.
your and your boyfriends will be thrilled. So I'm ready to do that. I want to do some belly dancing. All right, everybody, if you want to be a guest on my show and you have a special talent, I feature performing artists, just it's so interesting. And I want to thank you again. See, an artist, performer. And then anybody else who has a talent I haven't thought of, never know. Bye, everybody. See you next month. April. April it is, right? Crazy April.